Hi guys, welcome to Andaaz. Today's episode is going to expand your mind and blow you away. Here at Andaaz, we believe in nourishing the mind, the body, and the soul. And in this episode, we focus on the mind. I just think it's amazing how innovation and technology is built to emulate the human mind. It's just fascinating. Well, sad but true, but all of us know someone that is affected by cancer. Well, we head over to Boston, where we talk to the fathers of synthetic biology and find out, is the cure for cancer around the corner? Can we prevent diseases? And can we make a glow-in-the-dark cat? Well, let's go check it out. I'm wearing Tom Knight's old lab coat. Hi Andrew, welcome to the show. Well, I'm real excited to talk to you today about this fascinating field of synthetic biology. Let's just start off and tell our viewers about your journey. I mean, you're known to be one of the great pioneers and you've done so much.
Well, I started working with microbes and I found these organisms, which are billions of years old, so incredibly beautiful. They could do chemical syntheses and metabolic processes that were so far beyond any chemistries that a chemist could do that I just found it fascinating.
And about 15-20 years ago, we realized that we actually want to engineer the cell itself. So just like you can program a computer, just like you can build a robot, just like you can build a car, those are things that you engineer for some particular functions. We realized that we can do actually the same thing with a cell.
Instead of studying the natural world, learning about it, why don't we just go and redesign it? You know, how can we actually rebuild, redesign the world all around us? You know, and biology is this incredibly amazing substrate, right? It's the only kind of scientific substrate that can actually self-replicate, that can make exact copies of itself.
Just like you can program an iTouch iPad, you know, they get smaller and smaller. Yeah, sure, we can go down to the level of cell. We can then program it, you know, so they asked me, you know, what kind of apps can you put on a cell, for example? You know, how can you modify, make the new version of it? These circuits, the first thing we do is actually write it as a program of if-then statements. And then we think about
it's just like computer science.
It's just like computer programming.
What do you see in the next 10 years in this field that's just going to change the world?
Diabetes, stem cells, some aspects of aging maybe.
The world has three major challenges, right? Food, energy, and medicine. And I see biology
in all of them.
At the center of each of those. You can very easily imagine a biological solution for them.
It's just the wave of the future.
In my opinion, yes. That's why I do what I do.
That's fascinating, changing the world, one cell at a time.
One cell at a time.
Yeah.
Several years ago, one of the iGEM teams at the University of Edinburgh looked at easy ways to detect arsenic contamination in groundwater. They built a system which uses bacteria to detect arsenic at the physiologically important levels.
I think we're going to make so much more progress with cancer as we move forward.
Yes, cancer, that's right.
In many ways, a cancer is like an infection, except with your own cells.
Yeah.
And now I see these technologies being able to produce that we can make individual medicines for cancer.
I mean, how far away, before this comes and we start using it as a cure?
We're already seeing evidence of this happening now.
We've been able to take and engineer these kinds of viruses and in a petri dish be able to have a mixture of cells, some of them cancer cells, some of them healthy cells, and basically what it does is kills essentially all the cancer cells and does nothing to the healthy cells.
I mean, there's a tremendous number of benefits to eating genetically modified foods. And so if we can actually engineer our crops so that you don't need to apply a bunch of synthetic nitrogen fertilizer, apply a bunch of synthetic pesticides, I think overall a food supply will be much safer than it was before. Not to mention we can, engineer foods that actually taste better, right? There's no reason why we can't engineer them to taste better, to be more nutritious. So I'm going to take you on a tour of what we think of as our fab here for designing, building, and then ultimately testing and delivering our engineered organisms. People sit at their computers and basically literally design pieces of DNA that go into our engineered organisms. So they come over here to these robots, which are computer controlled, and they basically put their pieces of DNA at various places on the deck of this robot here.
I mean, what about these glow-in-the-dark cats? And I saw this online that you can buy them. They're glow-in-the-dark cats.
Can you buy them now?
Yeah, you can buy them.
Oh, I've got to go buy one. But I didn't know you could buy them. But people have been making glow-in-the-dark animals for a few years as to show that they can move these proteins into different organisms and express them properly.
It is amazing what you can do. For me, this notion of creating a new DNA molecule, and that to me is it's just amazing to see.
Well, I think you will see biology coming into new areas that it's never been in before. We will see the creation of chemical products that are with biology that maybe at the moment are made only by chemical factories.
I feel like everything is moving at light speed. In this field of innovation and life science and genomics and synthetic biology, I just feel like we're living in a fascinating time. And on that note, when you're talking to young children and inspiring them to pick a field in something that is life-changing, what would you say to them?
I always ask them a question. What do you want to do? What do you want to do with your life and to make the world a better place?
Go and learn as much as you can about as many different subjects as you can. It's a long journey, but it's going to be the way in which you will be able to contribute the most.
Kids today are so aware of things like sustainability, about how we're polluting the earth and how slow it is to make a new drug. They're aware of this already. And what you usually find is they just say, I want to go and do this now. Fight a cancer, make a new plant, really clean up an ocean. Start to apply these tools today because you don't need to graduate from school to start becoming proficient in them.
That's so true. I loved going to Boston and hanging out with all of those brilliant scientists. Genetic engineering is definitely solving some of the world's greatest challenges. Food, pollution, healthcare, diseases. Our future looks brighter for sure. And for those of you that don't want to wait for biotechnology to alter your cells to improve weight loss, Jay Piatek is going to give us his weight loss mythbuster of the week.